Guys, welcome back. I was sitting upstairs in my office, and somebody had sent me an email about all these super tournaments or end of the year championships. I've kind of been biased and talking more like I was fishing at Ozark Lake, and somebody asked me, "Hey, what about us guys that are fishing grass? What do we do, or what would be your recommendations?" Well, for a co-angler on a grass lake, and when you say grass, that's a broad picture. I mean, we could be talking about milfoil, coontail, hydrilla, mother long tongues, peppergrass. Me being redneck, I mean, I hear grass, I'm thinking fescue, blue stem, alfalfa, and you crazy kids and your devil's lettuce another time. But anyhow, after I got to thinking about it, I was like, all right, grass, let's do some grass videos. All right, well, in the fall, grass on different lakes and all. I mean, you've got hydrilla milfoil, which mats up. It turns to cheese, to say. It's got a yellow foamish looking top on it. That's one kind of grass. The other grass, your coontail, sometimes they'll be scattered out amongst the lake. It's not real thick, but it's not too thin either. You can't run a chatterbait through it this time of year, or say a buzzbait, choppo, or anything like that. So I'll start with that one. It's going to be one of the easiest ones to start with. Okay, usually on this kind of grass, you're covering a lot of water and all, and I'm giving away some juice here. Okay, the first bait I'm going to talk about this. I don't even know if Buku or whoever it is, Yum. I don't know if they make this anymore. It's called a toad runner. It's got a little flapping tail on it. It's just a little frog with a tail in the back. It's a prop. It runs across the top of water, disturbs it. These are really good when you have wind or some chop on the water, to say. I've had a lot of success on this. I can cover water. I don't get wore out. I'm just not constantly trying to work a frog to cover water and all. Toad runner, the second one. This is my hidden one. This is one I rarely show anyone, but what the heck? I'm at the end of my life anyways. I'm going to go ahead and just give it away. It's called a Big Easy. It's a Gambler Big Easy. Dynamite bait. I have made some money on this thing. It's a chunk and wine bait. You'll make those bomb casts way out on top of that sporadic grass. You just burn it back to the boat. Eventually, one's going to pick it up, and I mean, they'll annihilate it. It just feel like someone's flushing on it. Three colors I throw it in with the toad runner: white belly, black belly. That's all I do. I don't get caught up into what they look like on top. The three colors of the Big Easies I throw. This is just a darker looking color. This is what I'm going to throw more on an overcast day. When they're looking up at it, all they do is see a silhouette. They'll grab it. Now on my overcast day, or not, my sunshiny days, or partly cloudy days and all, I've got these other two. This is more of, it's like more of a shad looking bait, the white. How I rig these up, this is a 6/0. I don't know if it's an owner, Gamma, whoever makes this hook and all, but again, 6/0, I like the screw in it because you're coming across that grass. It's not constantly pulling that bait down on the shaft of your hook. All right, well, let's lighten up on the wind a little bit. Let's say we don't have a whole lot of wind or just a slight breeze. It might be dead calm and all. With a light breeze, this horny toad made by Zoom. It is a subtle bait. You don't want to be throwing something like that toad runner or that Big Easy across that calm water. Again, it just does not, it's not a natural appearance. As a matter of fact, you're scaring them out of the area. And I've said it before, it looks like an F-16 coming across the top of the surface. You're just wasting your time at that point. This toad runner is great when you have just a slight amount of wind going across the top of the water. Now let's say that it gets, okay, toad runner, the hook. This is a Gamakatsu, another screw lock. It's 4/0, I believe. This one here has a 16th lead weight on it. You could actually run them without the lead weight too. Either way, there's fine and all. If you get too heavy of a weight, it will start sucking down the water. You'll be fighting trying to keep it up on top. Okay, now let's go dead calm. When it's dead calm, your boater's got you out there, and he's just bound and determined to make it happen in that sporadic grass. It's a Cinco, this here's an Ocho. Either one will work. 5-inch. All I've done is cut the tail off of it. And I make these are little spring lock or whatever blades. Stick it in the end. This my 4/0 haymaker hook. I love that haymaker. You know that. It takes very little pressure to get it in the fish, but it's locked once it bites it. Chunk it out, let it go down, hold your rod tip high, and slowly reel this thing back. That, believe it or not, that little spinner on the back will just buzz. It just puts off a little flash. It's unobtrusive bait. When it comes over the top of them in that grass, they will come out, get bit. All right, guys, my setup on any of these baits, these moving baits I just showed you, I want to set up my rod length. I want a 7.6 heavy action. I don't get caught up in the medium heavy. I know a lot of guys are throwing medium heavy. I want that backbone, but I still want a little bit of tip on top to get my casting distance. On my reels, I don't go any a lower gear ratio than 7.5. The faster, the better for me. I can take up a lot of line on those hook sets and get it in them. Online, I throw Sufix 832. That's all I throw. I have tried all the other lines. This is a very inexpensive line. 50-pound test on all my baits that I'm chunking and winding. All right. Now let's go over. Let's fish some cheese. The mat. Okay, we're gonna go frog fishing here. I got 2 frogs. I think this one here is a Strike King or Spro or something like that. This is the Buku. I really like the Bukus. A lot of people don't care for them and all that, but I've pretty much tried. I've probably got 10 Spros back there. If y'all send me your address, I'll send them to you. You can have them. I just like my Buku. I have a better hookup ratio on this. On fishing behind somebody in matted grass, don't lose focus on what you're doing that day. What you want to look for, you want to look for rat tracks. What we call rat tracks is where other boaters have been in the area, or your guy, you can see where he's thrown and he's worked that frog back across the top of that mat. It will leave a track. Well, obviously you don't want to throw right back in his track and be working used water to say, try to pick off, maybe 5 to 10 feet to the left or the right of his rat tracks and all. The one thing that will help you capitalize on frog fishing, it took me forever to figure this out and all, is I've got about 10 to 12 BBs set inside of this frog. When I come across the top of that mat, it's got some weight on top of it. It's pulsating that mat, plus it rattles. And what that fish that's living down that grass, he feels that frog pulsating up there. He's more aware that frog is up there and all. You can get a longer casting distance than other guys when you weight down your rats. Granted, if you pull this over a hole in the mat, it's going down. It's sinking on you. But again, the BBs are a little trick. Now, obviously this is my Buku. I do not have any BBs in it. How to get those BBs in there? What you're gonna do is take your hook, flip it out like such, put your hook up, feed your BBs down through that little hole in the bottom of the frog. Again, if you're fishing, grass that has holes in it, you don't want to use the BBs. But if it's matted grass or got the cheese on it and all, I like the BBs in there. My hookup ratio is lots better. I catch more fish. Okay, on blow-ups, the frogs are one thing, it'll get you heartbroken. You'll be running across the top of that mat, and it blows up, flushes. But guess what? It didn't take it. Okay, you have 2 options here with frog fishing. You can throw your frog back across on the other side of that hole. The trick is, don't bring it up to the hole. Stop. Before you enter the hole, stop it on the edge. Do not bring it out into the hole where you blew up before. Bass are kind of like cats. They like to hunt. They're anticipators. And the thing is, he's in that area. He sees that frog coming back across. When you bring that frog back up on that mat and you stop it on the edge, not into the hole, He's sitting there, and I mean, the longer he's sitting there, he's like, "Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on, come on," like that. And when you finally, you say after 15 seconds, you pop that frog off there, he'll annihilate it again. Uh, that's it's. This is the game of patience with these frogs and all. The other trick, and this is the one I really like, and all the follow-up bait is punching. Say if a bass blows up in a hole. Uh, I automatically reel my frog in. I just grab my punching rod, and what I do is I throw an ounce, ounce and a quarter. Sometimes I have to go up to a 2 ounce weight, but this is tungsten. Got it. Anytime you're punching, use double peg because that heavy weight going through that grass will eventually burn those pegs out. Then you'll have to take it off, retie it, and all. I do have a snell knot on this. Snell knot will actually help you with your hookups. Whenever he bites it and you pull up, that hook will come up and hooks him in the top of the jaw. On my hook, I use the Trokar TK130. You can get these anywhere. It's a 5/0 hook. Again, punch in on your follow-ups. The baits I use, baits and colors at this time, I think you can throw anything in there, and I have done this before. I do like the Jason Christie, what's this, critter creature, whatever it is. The reason I like this bait is because it's thicker, and when I'm punching through that mat, my hook's not constantly being busted out the other side. And I think that once that bass blows up and you pitch into that hole, he's willing to grab anything that comes through there. I mean, he's instantly on it. So again, colors, baits, I don't get too caught up in it. I was punching a mat one time. I'd caught a fish out of it. I was power poled down. I put the fish on the live well, jumped back, and there was I call them dead soldiers in the floor. I just picked the bait up, put it on. It made no sense. Flipped it right back in there. Got the second one out of there. So again, don't get too caught up in the baits. Just get something that's going to last in the water. And that Jason Christie critter, whatever it is, try that. On my punching setup, the punching setup is I use an 8-foot rod. I use an extra heavy 8-foot rod. Reason I like that is because it does not wear me out when I'm flipping. The shorter a rod you get flipping that 1.5 ounce tungsten, shorter rod you get, the more you're going to get wore out as you go through the day. It just does no good. When you go to bring it back, you usually bring it back and knocking the gel coat off the side of the boat, which your boater is going to have a fit over that. So try to get a longer rod, and on your reels, again, high speed. On punching, I do use 65-pound test. I don't use 50s. I just feel 65-pound tests. I don't break off, and they're usually way down inside that grass, and I'm having to pin them up to it and having to go get them. So the 65-pound test is a great line for punching grass. Now on my frog setup, okay. A lot of people, I believe, my own opinion, they use the wrong rod on frog fishing. When I frog fish, usually I'm putting that frog in my hand and I have it all day long working the top of the mat. I use a 7-foot rod. Falcon has a Kara rod. It's a very upper end rod. It's a $300 rod. Jason Christie designed it for Kara Falcon. I believe it's a 610. It's a frog rod. No, if you would get a rod like that and take it out and use it half the day, and you go back to using a 7.4, 7.6 frog rod, you will see what I'm talking about. You don't get that muscle pump in that arm. You're not going to walk out looking like Popeye at the end of the day. You still got your casting distance. It's got the perfect tip on it that allows you to work that frog across the top of the water and all. Again, on the frogs, I don't use a popping frog when I'm mat fishing. I like the walking frogs and all. They just help slide across the top. Well, anyhow, guys, that's my 2 cents on grass fishing. Hey, let me know how it works. Send me some more questions, and I'll be glad to answer them as best as I can. See y'all next time.